Life offers many situations. For some people, a situation may become a problem when they are faced with something in their careers. For some other people, the problem outside may come in the form of a relationship problem. For someone else, their children, they become the problem areas. For others, it is a matter of their business. They are not able to, their business is not moving forward. For some others, it is because they are not able to do what they really want to do. So there will be a variety of situations, and one person is not going to face all these situations, but time and again, life brings situations to us, and these situations and the key, the answer to all this, the solution to all these situations lies in our childhood. We have to understand that childhood is the most important phase of life. That is the phase of life in which we felt. We tend to think that, oh, that's a child, that child doesn't think. What will that child know? That child is not going to know. It doesn't have a developed mind or a brain. How will it come to know? So now let's look at this. There's a cockroach in your house, and you don't want that cockroach anywhere, in your house, in your kitchen, wherever. What do? You take a broom or you take something and you tiptoe, up to it, and long before you're able to reach that cockroach comes to know that somebody is approaching, and the cockroach goes away. Or as young children, we chased butterflies. We used to tiptoe, but long before you were anywhere near the butterfly had taken off. So, what is happening? The butterfly and the cockroach are not thinking, and they don't have a developed mind or brain or anything. So, what tells them? Nature has provided for the tiniest of creatures. And even when that little infant is in its mother's womb, it gets all the information it needs. That baby in the mother's womb gets all the information that it needs, and it will receive informations about how it is going to be treated in this world outside. We'll go to this thing later on because there's something else that I want to explain here. Now, that little baby, which doesn't even have a fully formed body with all organs or whatever it is, but that baby is receiving information about itself, about the world, through the feelings of the mother. Whatever were your mother's feelings when she was expecting you, those feelings are coded inside you. Whatever were your mother's feelings about the world, about life, about finances, about success, about everything, everything is coded into you. You have received a lot of information through your mother's feelings. So if times were difficult, circumstances were difficult, situations were difficult, those feelings that the mother has have got transferred to that child. Now, in many parts of the country, uh, we come across things like this. There are family pressures. We want a grandson. So the parents in law insist, no, this has to be a grandson. What happens? See, it may not be that this lady herself insists that no, no, my firstborn has to be a son or a daughter. But she herself is not okay with her daughter because the elders in her family are not okay. This woman is not functioning independently. She's dependent on what those people want and what those people expect from her. And so she puts a lot of pressure into herself. No, no, this has got to be a boy, this has got to be a boy, this has to be a son. So now that information is going into that being that you are creating within yourself. Your body and mind are creating a being inside you. That being is getting created with all these feelings. So if it is a girl, that girl has received information about her rejection even before she is born. You can see where the self-worth is going to go. Another thing is, this woman, this mother who's carrying this baby, she has placed her own self-worth on this one factor. Am I going to give birth to a boy or a girl? If I give birth to a girl, my self-worth will take a dip because these people will treat me differently. But if I give birth to a boy, then my family will treat me differently and my self-worth will shoot up. I have seen plenty of such cases. In all these 36 years of horoscopy, the number of people who have come and asked me whether, uh, you know, uh, they are going to have a son or a daughter. They have even asked if I can suggest some remedial measures because of which they may have a son. So these things are mindsets. You will be able to understand whether your mindset A or B or C not by listening to one video. You'll have to listen to I don't know how many videos before you are able to decide which is your mindset. But as we go along, I'll keep talking to you about these mindsets and you will be able to piece them together and come to a conclusion about where you are. What I'm trying to tell you is that it doesn't matter whether you are mindset A or C. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you have to leave A and come to B, and you have to leave C and come to B, and you have to understand what B is, and there are no quick fixes. Please don't expect quick fixes. Okay, now we've understood there's a mindset B. Okay, next, tell us what is that next thing? I cannot. It has to happen over a course of time. You will have to keep listening, re-listening many times. And as we go on, you will begin to understand. You cannot be in that mindset of, okay, give it to me. You have to grow. That is what life is about. And we grow as we learn. Not by asking somebody for a remedy, okay, give me a remedy, and then that remedy is given, and hey, presto, your situation has changed. No, no, that's not how this is going to work. You have to learn, understand, piece things together as we go on, and you have to find the solution to whatever is happening inside you. I can tell you this, that your childhood holds the key to your present life situation. No matter what that situation is, your childhood holds the key to it. So now you will have to think back to your childhood. You'll have to look at the situation in your life which has become a bothersome thing for you. The business is not moving, the career is not moving, the success is not coming, that dream is not getting fulfilled. somebody is misbehaving with you, whatever it may be, the key to that situation is in your childhood. So now that little baby takes birth, and now let's look at it a little further. Some relative comes and picks that baby up. Newborn infant. That baby doesn't have a developed mind and brain. So now this relative comes and picks that baby up. That baby will howl and cry and wail. It'll keep quiet for some time, but it'll begin to howl and cry. Some other relative comes along and does something else. That baby cries louder. And then the mother takes that baby. Like magic, that baby stops crying. That baby feels peaceful. What has happened? It's not this. It's not the well-developed mind or a developed brain which has done all that. What has happened? It is something that we call instinct. It is an instinct which even lesser creatures like that cockroach and that butterfly have, and which all of us have. That little baby has it. That baby has the instinct to feel things even if you don't say anything. It receives your feelings. You may not say anything, but the baby will receive all your feelings. That little baby receives all its mother's feelings primarily. So every feeling of the mother is stored inside this little baby. Now, let's go on to another situation. This is a common situation, so I'm talking about it. In the next situation, this is again a childhood situation. There can be many childhood situations. All of them need not apply to you or to you or to you. Some will apply to some may apply to someone else. And if you are not able to find any childhood situation that is being discussed here, because I will be discussing only a few here, you will have to look at your situation and somehow try to figure out your childhood. So now let's look at another situation. There's a tiny baby or a little child. Let's say that baby is 6 months old, 9 months old, maybe a year old, and that baby has not learned to cope with the world. The world is still a strange, mysterious place, and the only comfort is the parents, the mother, the parents, their proximity. And what happens is that even before this baby is 1 year old or a little older, the next baby is on the way. The mother might not say anything to this baby, to this 1 year old baby, but she will feel anxious. She may. I'm not telling you that it is going to happen in each and every case. Everywhere where there are two children, one child is 2 years old and the other sibling has come along, so this will be the story, is not true. You have to remember that life is trying to teach you something. What is it trying to teach you? It is teaching you to grow. And if you have to grow, life will offer situations where you will develop something and you will have to learn to transcend that. So there will be a problem and you will have to solve that. Problem solving is, at least for some time, an important part of life. It's an important part of growing up. The problem solving. You needn't solve problems all your life, because at some stage you will learn, there's only one way of solving all problems. There are no two ways. There's only one way. And again, no quick fixes. Okay, what's that way? No, that's not going to happen. You'll have to be patient and you'll have to figure that out for yourself as things are being taught to you. They cannot be handed to you in a spoon, and that spoon cannot be thrust into your mouth now. Here, this is the one way. Take this, leave. That cannot be done. You have to be very, very, very patient with yourself, and you'll have to be patient and listen to this again and again. So now that child may be faced with a situation, because that is the syllabus for that child. That child has to learn. Every child on this earth has to learn. No. Some have learnt through some other thing at some other point in time. Now some others have to learn. They have come to this class where this is part of the syllabus. They have to learn this. So only those children will learn. Others have learnt and gone ahead at some different point in time. So don't allow these questions to come up. Does every child face this? No. Does every school student study the same syllabus, class 8 syllabus? Or are there still students in class 6 who will gradually come to 8, and those who were in 8 have gone to 9 and 10 and they've gone even ahead? So there will be some situations for some people in life. Those situations may not be there for others. They have something else to learn. So now this child who is close to 2 years old is receiving that mother's feelings, and that mother's feelings is, how am I going to cope with this? I'm not even properly able to handle this one child. I love this child dearly. But this one is on the way. How will I cope? There is a silent interaction at the feeling level from this mother to the child. It is, you will have to learn to cope. I can't be there for you all the time. You will have to make sacrifices. You will have to manage on your own. I may not be there for you all the time. You will have to wait. You'll have to take a back seat. These are messages which go from the mother through feelings to that 1 or 2-year-old child. And the mother loves that child dearly. She feels bad for that child because this second child is on the way. Yes, she loves the fact that she's going to have it, but she's anxious, she's worried, she's fretting. She doesn't know how she's going to be able to juggle these two children and how she'll be able to manage. Lots of situations will crop up for that second child and for the first child. For both these children, there will be two different kinds of learnings. But in many cases, that firstborn suffers very much. In most cases that I have seen, that firstborn suffers a lot. It's not as if the second child does not. The second child has its own set of problems. We can look into that some other time. For the time being, that firstborn suffers a lot because it has received a lot of information through the mother's feelings. You'll have to take a back seat. You'll just have to be satisfied with whatever I'm able to do for you, and you've got to learn to be content. So now there are situations like this. Now let's not look into this. Everyone's childhood will be different, but each human being has got a story which runs his life. And that story was constructed in the form of a feeling. It was never constructed at this thought level. We didn't make statements to ourselves, this will happen, that will happen, this is how life is going to be. No, we stored a feeling about how we would be treated and how we would be expected to behave in life, and how much we can expect from life, and how right it is to expect this or to expect that or to not expect anything. These are stories that we developed in childhood through our feelings. We are carrying those stories deep within us, and those stories are running your childhood. If you have a business which is stuck, your story is doing it. Your story has told you that no, this is how much you can get. Wherever you are stuck in life, a story is running your childhood. And you will have to uncover that story. It will take you months, it will take you weeks, it will take you months. No outside person can uncover your story. You will have to listen, learn, understand, and uncover yourself. This is about growing. And only when you decide to grow, your first decision has to be that I want to grow. That's the first step to alignment. Now you're willing to learn. And willing to learn does not mean, okay, give me that quick fix. Willing to learn by yourself. Based on what you are being taught, you have to be willing to figure things out for yourself, to piece the bits of information together and to understand what is happening inside you, because each one of us is different and each one of us has a different story. So you will have to do that work. We will continue with this idea over the next 2 or 3 videos to help you understand how and why we develop those mindsets A and C. B comes much later. We develop mindset A or C, how and why we do that, and what are those common things related to those two mindsets, we will see in the next part of this video.